And yours is much more about you can eat it, but not together.
That's correct.
Yeah.
The concept of the idea of the Gracie diet developed by my Uncle Carlos. By the way, as soon as my dad and his brothers started getting involved in the early days in competing, fighting, pretty much running the academy, Uncle Carlos was the first one to learn jiu-jitsu in the Gracie family, took a step back, became the manager for the brothers, and started studying how to keep everybody healthy.
Right.
They are not big, strong guys. They couldn't afford to have a headache before a fight,
Yeah.
or a toothache, or a stomach ache, or a heartburn.
Yeah.
If you're going to fight, it's going to impact your performance. He realized very early on the close correlation between good health and good performance.
Yeah.
If you have to do a speech tomorrow and you have
Right.
1 grain of rice in your shoe, it's going to mess up your speech.
Right.
Because that little grain of rice becomes a distraction.
Right.
Let alone an ulcer or a heartburn or a headache. So you can't just wonder if that's going to happen or not. People are so accustomed to feel good one day and bad on the other. They don't know the ingredients of your food.
Okay.
Therefore, if your body is alkaline, you feel great the whole time. There's no
Yeah.
headaches, there's no stomach aches, nothing. Everything works perfect. By sometimes people just are guided by the pleasure of what they're eating.
Yes.
And pleasure becomes the determining factor why they eat this or that, because they like to eat.
Yeah.
Now remember, food is a very cultural thing. Great grandma taught grandma, grandma taught mom, mom taught us, and we're going to teach our kids what we like to eat. Bottom line is not everything you like is good for you.
Yeah.
The guy
Especially
who's-
with modern food, they put so many things that trick your taste buds.
Yes, 100%,
Yeah.
absolutely right. So people like to smoke, but that doesn't mean it's good for them.
Right.
The people that like to use drugs, it's not good for them. So the fact that you like it doesn't mean it's okay.
Yeah.
So the concept of the Gracie diet is to learn to like what's good for you.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I was born in a family where my Uncle Carlos, who was not a doctor, spent 65 years studying food combining. He literally using the family as guinea pigs. We had a very big house in a place called Teresópolis, which was an hour from downtown Rio, with 21 bedrooms and 18 bathrooms.
Wow.
We counted one time 37 children, all relatives staying there for a summer vacation.
Huh.
It's crazy stuff. But the bottom line is
That
that
must have been fun,
it was a
actually,
lot
have
of
that
fun,
much family
indeed.
together.
Crazy times, yes, wonderful times. So all the meals were prepared according to the Gracie diet. So the kids would just eat what we had. This is it. There's lunch right here. They have no choice. So there's no, I don't want to eat this. There's no such a thing. It's just that's like a little army, a very Spartan lifestyle. Training jiu-jitsu, eating right. That was a very unique
And you saw
environment.
people's health change as they started doing that.
Well,
with this diet.
we just grew up like this.
Oh, you grew up, so you had
There's
no,
there's no choice. This is it.
How about the other kids that were just visiting for the summer for the first time? Did
Well,
they notice a difference?
Those 37 kids were all relatives, they're all family.
okay, so they were
But
all-
if every
yeah.
time we had people out, they would just fall into the groove and eat like we ate.
Yeah.
There was no choice of taking junk in the house. There's no Coca-Cola in the fridge ever.
Yeah.
There's no sodas and stuff like that. No, it didn't exist.
Yeah.
And everybody just ate right and learned to eat right, and that was the bottom line. So when I wrote this book, my idea was to share with people, because while I was teaching classes out of my garage, a lot of people came and say, "Honey, tell me about what you're eating now. What kind of meal is that? You're preparing this and that." And I kept giving them some tips, but it was never enough. So I decided to write the book, explain to everybody how to follow into it, and then literally impact their lives in a positive way.
Let me read some of the. There's a lot to this. You go out and buy this book. They can get it on Amazon.
Amazon, yes.
So, the Gracie diet in a nutshell here. For juicing, apples, melons, pineapples, carrots, use a juicer. Oh, this is this is the juicing. So it's big on juicing. You have fasting. You fast once a month.
Well, I fast once a month.
Food combinations is the main thing.
Is the
Actually,
main thing.
here's my breakfast that I was gonna eat, and I ate a little bit, but then I felt guilty. So we had bread was okay.
Bread and the butter and the kale was, the eggs and the kale was great.
Kale was great, but I had this, and you said I shouldn't have this at the same time.
That is
And
correct.
what's the reason?
The reason is this, because these are the citric fruits. The strawberries and
Yes.
the blueberries
Right.
are acidic fruits.
Okay.
Acidic fruit should not be mixed with anything else.
So you eat that alone.
You eat strawberries, you have a bucket of just strawberries. Make that meal out of that.
Okay.
Same thing with the blueberries and blackberries. All acidic fruits.
Can you have blueberries and strawberries
No,
together?
no.
So
Only
separate.
one kind of acidic fruit per meal. That's it.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Because what happens then if you eat them at the same time?
It brings
There's a
acidity to
process.
the system, yes.
Okay.
That's what you want to avoid.
But how come if you just have one, it doesn't bring as much acidity?
Because it's not mixed with anything else.
Oh, okay.
We all need gasoline.
Yes.
We all need fire.
Yes.
Don't put them together.
Yes.
Boom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's important to have gasoline, important to have fire. So the vitamins of different fruits is great. To have a variety of fruits and vegetables and stuff is great. The trick is how to combine them right. This should not be called a diet. I should make a point of saying that, clarifying this. Because it's not limiting.
Right.
Look at the list of
Yeah, you
things
can
that
eat almost
everything,
anything.
anything.
So no pork is one thing not
the
to
only
have.
thing we don't eat is pork.
Pork.
Yes.
And
Other than
some
that,
things you eat a little bit less. Like you said, like dairy, have some cheese, but not a lot of milk and things like that.
That's right. You don't
Yeah.
need milk. The less milk you drink, the better. But if you like to drink milk, it's okay.
Yes.
You're not forbidden from eating
Right.
drinking milk. It's just I don't drink milk. You don't need milk.
Yeah.
You know, the idea of, you know, a good-looking lady in a bathing suit or a strong-looking guy in a bathing suit, a little milk mustache.
Right.
They want to sell milk. It's
Right,
not
that's
good
a
for you.
commercial.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. You know, it's not something that you need.
Then this is kind of a
This is
quick overview of the groups of food, right?
That's right. And
So you have, we'll take some close-ups of this. We have
the vegetables right here. Vegetables
Group
and
A.
grain.
So Group A, you can combine all of these things with
One of Group B.
one of Group B,
Right
which
here.
is here.
Group B
Or
is-
it can be grouped with itself.
Of course, all
A
Group A
with
combine
A.
with each other.
So for example, in Group A, you have
Vegetables and greens.
green beans, kale, mushrooms. So you could have like a salad
Yes.
with one meat or seafood, like
or two or
chicken.
three or four.
Oh, okay, 2 or 3. And you could also have fat and oily foods like
Yeah.
avocado,
Almonds, avocado,
some
cashews, all that.
melted cheese,
All
and
that
you
stuff.
can combine it with one
Yeah,
starch.
with rice, not rice and beans, or with
Ah.
pasta, not pasta.
So you
and
could have
potato.
rice, but not. You wouldn't have this with bread and rice.
Correct. Only one of them.
Lentils. Now Group C.
Those are the sweet fruits and cheeses. Yes.
So these can combine with a starch.
As long as you don't have fat on the starch.
Which one's fat? There.
Butter, yeah, oil or butter here. If you don't,
So you could have just say lentil soup
if it's not
and-
prepared with fat,
if with no fat. If
yeah,
it's-
no oil, no butter, no nothing.
Then
you
it
can-
could have. Then you could have an apple.
Right. You can have watermelon juice. You can have dates. You can have papaya, and you can have some crackers.
And now D is also acidic fruits, right?
D are the acidic fruit group.
What was
correct.
C? Not
C is the sweet fruits.
oh, sweet fruits. So
Yeah.
you separate sweet.
From acidic.
What about this green tea? What do you think?
It's okay. That's tea
What-
is
what do you-
neutral.
Teas can be
Teas are
with
neutral.
everything,
Everything you want. Yeah.
just like water.
Just like water.
So you can have water with A, B, C. There's
Yes.
E. There's A, B, C, D, E.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And
So then
and
D
F
is
right
your-
here, is the milk.
So D things, acidic fruits do not combine with each other. So like for example, mango, you should
Only
just
mango.
eat a mango.
Not a mango, a whole bunch of mangoes. I eat
You
15 mangoes in a meal.
Really?
Yes, but that's only mangoes. yes.
Grapefruit, same thing.
Same thing.
Just have some grapefruits.
That's correct.
Now Group E is interesting. Is just bananas?
No, that says the raw bananas combine with these foods and do not combine with these.
So you're big on bananas. People should eat bananas.
Yeah, it's a great.
You know what's
food.
interesting? When I track my diet in MyFitnessPal, almost all, and I eat pretty healthy, potassium you don't get, and bananas give you that potassium.
Yes.
So does coconut water.
Yes.
Most people, if you track your diet, you don't get, and potassium is one of the major things you need.
Yes.
So you can have raw bananas with
With this group,
cheese,
yeah, with
apple,
this.
but not with honey.
Yes, or bread.
And you're not big on sugar in general. Like,
I eat so much sweet stuff already from the fruits that
Yeah.
you don't need to put the sugar. You know.
so get your dessert from some
Yes.
fruit.
Not dessert. There's no dessert.
Okay, because there's no dessert because you wouldn't eat a meal and then have this.
A fruit with
Just
it.
have it as a meal.
That's right. Have it as a meal. That's
Now,
correct.
the other thing that you talk about in the book is that you should only eat. Actually, let me do this. So, Group F is milk, what you can have with milk.
And you, yes.
So, don't have milk with fruit.
Avocado and fruits and stuff like that. That is correct.
What about milk? So, you can have milk with
You can have milk and cereal if you want.
Milk
Although
and-
we know that cereal, a lot of them are junk.
bad.
But
This is homemade granola. Bread should be made from whole flour and should not be consumed. Oh, you should let it
24 hours before. Usually when you buy bread somewhere, it's been there for 24 hours.
Right,
So, it's
so that's
okay.
good. Avoid sweets, canned food, pepper, clover, cinnamon, pickles, and don't eat pork.
Correct.
Now, the other big thing is you should eat every 4.5 hours.
Well, you should
3
space
meals.
your meals at least 4.5 hours. Not that you have to eat every 4.5 hours.
Okay.
But you have to have a space in between meals at least 4.5 to
Without
5 hours.
snacks in between.
No snacks, only water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then fasting, you were telling me about Nobel Prize winning
This
a
year,
winner,
2016.
2016,
Yeah.
won a Nobel Prize along this, what your father knew and uncle knew 100 years ago.
Well, we've been saying that for a long time. The idea of autophagy, so he described, the Japanese scientist, explained that when you fast, you literally help your body by not consuming it into clean house. It has to eat.
So it eats old cells and
Yes,
things like
yes,
this.
it's a great cleansing process for you and helps you.
So do you do that?
Yes, once a month I do fasting.
Just 24 hours?
No eat or drink anything.
But just water? You're allowed
I
to?
don't drink water.
Really?
Yeah, just take a day you're gonna rest and just
Huh.
chill.
But for someone new, maybe they could just have
Drink
water.
in the beginning
Yeah.
until they get it. But it's not that bad.
You can do it without water.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
Well, just resting a day that you don't have to go to work or anything like that. Just kind
Yeah.
of chill a little bit, get a book and relax.
Huh.
Yeah.
Now, for somebody watching, you were telling me how sometimes it's too overwhelming to
Yes.
go from the modern diet to switch to this. So you created a system with the belt ranking systems
That is correct.
where you do it in levels till you're a black belt.
Correct.
Each one about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you start out with white belt,
Yes.
which is just drink water first in the morning. It's also big on sanitation. Wash your hands before
It's
every meal.
important. Eh? You have
Yeah.
to wash your hands before you eat. Doesn't
Yeah.
hurt. I mean, the amount of contamination and bacteria that you're going to avoid by just simply washing your hands is
Yeah.
it's staggering. So you should do that. No reason why not.
I actually read, there's an interesting book I read years ago on, they just did an experiment with the average person, and they said not only when you wash your hands, but put soap under the nail, because
Yeah.
it's the nails that carry most of the, so, and then, okay, and then, so then get in the habit of writing down what you eat.
On the first week only. You
Okay.
don't have to do it every week.
Okay.
So wash your hands.
What's the idea, why do you think, what's the benefit? Just people start to see how much crazy
right.
things they eat?
That's right. So if you write everything down that you eat during a week,
Yeah.
it helps you keep you accountable.
Yes.
It's like the person who has no idea how much money they're spending. If they write down every penny they spend,
Yes.
on the end of the month they're going to say, wow, I wasted so much money in this and this and that.
Yeah.
And the same thing with food. If you start writing down what you eat,
Yeah.
you're going to realize that I'm eating more than I need and whatever.
You can use, if you like to use apps, there's a great free app called MyFitnessPal that you can enter your food. That counts too, right? Just keeping track.
Of course,
Yeah.
keeping track of it, 100%.
So then after a week or two, you go to blue belt, which you continue to do everything you did in the white belt,
Correct.
washing your hands, drink water, except you don't need
You don't
to
need
write
to
down.
write
You don't
again.
write it. Then you start eliminating desserts, sweet or fruits after cooked meal.
Yes, after cooked meal. It's not that you shouldn't eat.
So you can
fruit.
have fruits,
Yes.
but just not
After-
as dessert.
As dessert.
As their own 4.5 hour later